Welcome back, everyone. It's me, Reaperlikesgames. Today's video is covering a game called Decay. I initially caught wind of this game through the front page recommendation, saving it for later. Though, what pushed me to play and now review it was Eclipse's video.
Thank you, Eclipse!
I'm really glad that the universe worked its magic to deliver this peak to me on a silver platter. And if you couldn't tell, I love this game a lot. So much so that I made an intro sequence for all of you to watch. Roll it! The full animation is linked in the description. Now, what is Trench Decay? Trench Decay is a PvE shooter where groups of up to 5 players are dropped into missions to clear objectives and seal bunkers. These objectives range from taking control of a keep, defeating a heavy enemy, capturing points, destroying or stealing an enemy weapon, dog-walking the ultimate fraud, and moving explosive barrels in a cart to blow up obstacles.
I hate payload.
The game itself is straightforward. You defeat enemies, seal bunkers, get rewards, buy weapons and cosmetics, then do it all over again. But that's just the surface level. In the game, you choose between one of several routes on the map as you clear bunkers. Though they have some variation in generation, you're ultimately looping the same area types over and over. As the game updates, I foresee more objective types being added. After clearing 4 bunkers, you'll reach a major objective, which can be one of 3 things. Defeat the heavy emissary, destroy/steal Big Bertha, and capture the flag. You get to choose the objective type when creating a match, and vote on the next one once cleared. The bunkers between the objectives provide a slew of resources to players willing to push to the next one. Bandages, medkits, guns, and ammo are all sold for dog tags. Dog tags can be obtained from completing radio terminals, defeating enemies, and breaking boxes. Each bunker also has a free ammo pickup on the right of the stairs leading to the next area. Free grenades are provided to the right. On the right-facing wall next to the campaign map is a deck of cards. Players can draw a hand of 3 and choose a buff most fitting for them. You can redraw your cards for a base price of 10 dog tags, which increases by 5 every subsequent redraw. The price resets at the next bunker. Eventually, you or others in your team will decide they want to end the run. Each player gets to individually choose if they move on or not. When you decide to extract, you'll be rewarded with XP from completed objectives and enemies killed, and medals based on how many dog tags you hold and the number of bunkers sealed. The rewards also scale up with each difficulty. Medals that you earn are the main currency of the game and allow you to purchase weapons, gear, and war bonds. If you decide to continue your run, throughout it you'll encounter 2 factions of enemies, the New Order and the Mutants. First off, the New Order has a mix of both melee and ranged units. They are most commonly found in locations like the Keep and the Blockhouse. New Order ranged units will take cover from player fire, while melee units bum rush you to force you into non-firearm combat. The best way to deal with the New Order enemies is to take cover and return fire. The second faction you'll encounter are the Mutants. They're composed of both undead New Order and 4th Coalition soldiers. While all of them are melee units, they have a great deal of variation. The basic mutants, Shamblers, have a moderate amount of health and lower damage. These are the cannon fodder. Corpses are mutants that lie across the trench, only waking when you move near them. They are nearly identical to the Shamblers in terms of actual attack and function. Special units such as Pursuers, Stone Angels, Crawlers, Bombers, and Grounders also appear among the Horde. Pursuers are pretty much normal mutants, but they do more damage, using a knife rather than their hands. Stone Angels attack more frequently and have a larger health pool. They can be identified by the candles on their back. Crawlers are quadrupedal humanoids that jump at the player and hold them in place. To get them off, you can either spam M1 to shake them off or hit them with a melee weapon. They don't do any damage, only serving as a support unit. Bombers run at the player and pull the pin of the grenade strapped to their chest, exploding after about a second or two. If killed before they pull the fuse, they still explode. They can prove tricky when being rushed by a crowd due to their high damage, which is usually enough to down a player instantly. The last mutant enemy are the Grounders. While they don't normally spawn within the Horde, upon clearing a bunker, there's a chance for them to appear. Notably, they only appear for one player, forcing whoever is cursed to fight them alone. Signs such as growing darkness, a loudening heartbeat, and a deathly howl signal that they are coming for you. Grounders are the most tanky of all the mutants. While not a problem individually, they spawn in groups of 2 or 3, making avoidance of them a much better option. If you really do not want to engage with them, you can run away and wait for about 30 seconds for them to despawn after they appear. Since the mutants lack range, keeping distance and shooting at them will clear most hordes. Engaging in melee is generally a death sentence on higher difficulties, unless you have a lifesteal or damage reduction perk. With the knowledge of the gameplay loop and what you'll be encountering, how do you deal with the enemies of the 4th Coalition? Weapons. There are 3 ways to obtain weapons and gear. First and most obvious way to do it is to play the game. Through normal raids, you can pick up weapons off of dead enemies and extract with them to unlock them in the armory, for later purchase with medals. The second way to do it is to buy war bonds. You can purchase them over in this area here for medals or Robux. War bonds bundle exclusive cosmetics and weapons together at a discount, so if you have a bunch of medals lying around, you can save quite a few by obtaining them this way. Number 3. Big win! Big win, big win, big win, big win, big win! For those who want everything without setting a single foot in the trench, this is the best option for you. Leave the next weapon you get up to random chance. You can either spend copious amounts of Robux, or medals, trying to roll an anointed weapon, or you could just play the game. Personally, I think this is a redundant feature that can give a bad first impression to new players. I almost wrote off this game because of it. As for what weapons you should use, I'd say all of them are powerful in their own right, excelling in specific situations. The only weapon I would call bad is the musket, though I'll talk about the musket a bit more later. Anyways, let's go over weapon categories. Most bolt-action rifles in the game are nearly indistinguishable from one another. If you've played one of them, you've played all of them. Though in my opinion, I think every last one is a solid pick, as they can one-shot most enemies to the head on every difficulty. My favorite ones are the Lee Enfield for its 10-round capacity, and the Mosin for its high damage and somewhat quick reload. On to handguns. They are by far the most unique category of weapons in my opinion. The hand cannon is a beast of a gun, firing explosive rounds. The flare gun, while a dumb-looking pick on the surface, has the ability to spawn fire at its point of impact, making it a good obstacle for approaching enemies. You can shoot multiple flares at a single spot to stack the burn area, though be warned, this fire hurts you. A lot. Semi-automatic handguns such as the M1911 and Mauser C96 are great secondaries to rifles due to their fast fire rate and magazine capacity. The last guns in this category are revolvers. The 2 currently in the game are nearly identical, except for damage stats. They both hold 6 rounds and have the same fire rate. All the handguns with the exception of the hand cannon are light weapons, meaning that they don't have a speed reduction when held. The hand cannon is classified as a medium weight weapon, giving you a 20% move speed reduction when held. The next category of weapons are machine guns. All the weapons under this label shoot fast, and they have varying weights. The Tommy gun and the Hellriegel 1915 being the lightest, and the Lewis gun being the heaviest. Generally, the heavier the weapon, the more damage it does. The benefit of these guns is that players can sustain fire for extended periods of time, along with speedy reloads. Because of this, they are a common meta pick for most players, as it simplifies the game. It should be noted that guns that use the light ammo have much less recoil than ones that use medium. For the remaining ranged weapons in the game, I'll group them into the special category. The musket, Tinkveer, and trench shotgun all fit this. While some may fit into other weapon categories, they have a special gimmick or function that separates them enough to be here. First off, the trench shotgun. It's obvious why I put it here. It's the only shotgun in the game currently. It has both high damage and a fast fire rate, making it a beast at clearing out groups of enemies, much more than some automatics. However, its downside is its reload. Reloading shells takes far longer than it does to shoot them. Running out of ammo will force the player to switch to secondary or simply run away. In my opinion, a solid weapon with reasonable drawbacks. Next up, the musket. As I mentioned before, it's a very, very unique weapon in the fact that it takes centuries to reload. Even other games have a faster reload. I understand my player character may be stressed the hell out, but he's going to die anyways because of how slow the reload is. There is zero reason to use this weapon unless you're doing a challenge run or LARPing guts and black powder. And to close out this category, we have the Tankavir. Someone call R&D and give the engineers a raise because they somehow managed to invent a gun that transforms medium ammo into explosive cartridges. I love this weapon a lot. There's no better way to play the game than using an explosive anti-material rifle on personnel. Fun fact, this monster of a weapon is meant to be operated in a stationary position with 2 people. 2! Yet your character is strong enough to carry it like it's a Nerf blaster. Now for the final category of weapons, are melee. Long story short, they're all practically the same. They swing, some slower than others, some faster, but they all generally amount to similar DPS. It doesn't really matter what you bring, as long as you can one-shot the enemy with your heavy attack. Some do provide a move speed buff of 5%, though it's generally inconsequential unless you're doing a speedrun. Beyond weapons, there are 7 different classes in this game players can choose from. The default class, Enlist, is versatile enough to fit into the role of a backliner or frontliner. The rest of the classes can easily be profiled as a backline support or frontline DPS. I will cover the classes more in depth in the future video, breaking down the strengths and weaknesses of all 7. With the core game mechanics and gameplay loop explained, this is the section where I pick apart the game and give my opinions. My first impression of the game was spectacular. I was immediately hooked by the environmental design and atmosphere, now more so by recent UI updates that better fit the theme. The combat of this game is responsive and snappy, leaving little to be desired in that category. Despite having a slower pace than most other FPS games I've played, it doesn't feel like I'm walking through tar. Unless it's payload. But I'll get to that later. The Major Order system, taking inspiration from Helldivers, is a great way to maintain engagement and help players feel like their efforts are contributing towards a larger goal. I hope to see more mission types as updates roll out over the coming months. As of right now, the game itself has a framework for what could be, in my opinion, a 10 out of 10 Roblox game. Now with all that praise given, it would be dishonest of me to not point out the glaring issues in the game right now, along with personal nitpicks. Payload. Payload sucks. It is the worst objective type to ever be added to this game. As of writing this right now, it has been nerfed twice and is still the mission type everyone avoids. I have no idea what Terra was thinking when he created this garbage. Despite it being possible to do on the hardest difficulty now, it feels like a waste of time. I would not bat an eye if it was removed tomorrow. I can bet you 99% of the player base would not miss it either. However, I think it'd be fixed if the number of walls players have to break through are reduced, or tweaked to have only one wall at the end of a longer rail stretch. The worst part of current payload is backtracking every single time you break through a wall, all while being torn apart by mutants. I think payload needs to be changed or removed altogether as to not tarnish the otherwise fun in-game experience. As for the other objectives in-game, I don't have any issues with them, but I do have plenty with these following oversights. Kicking sucks. Period. There's no reason to use it at all. You could argue it could be used to kick away mutant bombers, but it's smart to just run away instead. When you kick enemies back, they immediately bomb rush you again. On top of all that, it costs stamina. Personally, I would have kick ragdoll enemies so that has some more utility, rather than just pushing them away. As of right now, you're just better off using a heavy melee attack. Hell, even a light melee attack would do better. The enemy AI, well, better than when I started playing, is still not super great. Melee units will attempt to wheel themselves through a wall to get to you. This shows especially on the blockhouse. New Order soldiers will run at the wall, trying to get to your location, making them a non-threat in most cases. I understand it's hard to program NPC AI, but it would be much better if they could pathfind around obstacles to get to you. Ranged units aren't excused for this either. Sometimes they'll strafe out of the open, despite cover being nearby, turning them into free kills. Or at worst, they'll run at you and try to position themselves behind you, which also results in them turning into free kills. Not to mention, they sometimes spawn inside the walls, making them unreachable. Fortunately, it doesn't affect in-game progression, as none of the objectives have a kill requirement. I hope these issues are addressed soon. The AI works for the time being, but I hope to see improvements as updates roll out. Despite this next complaint being relatively small, it really irks me. All melee sounds in-game are identical. Equip, swing, and heavy attacks all play the same sound. I've gotten used to it by now, but it's still a big immersion breaker. You mean to tell me a sledgehammer goes shing shing? No, it goes boom boom. Why? It's such an easy thing to fix. I can go get some sound effects off YouTube. Hell, even Toolbox on Roblox Studio. Speaking of sound effects, the Heavy Emissary. He still, as of writing, does not have any sound for his intro. It just looks stupid. Even Eclipse has the same opinion. Why would you release it if the content is not complete? It would be much smoother if he just spawned in with his title, and then the full cutscene was added later when the sound's made. Even Fraudburus has no intro cutscene. He does all that aura farming just to die to a tank Veer mag dump. The hordes that he spawns are more threatening than him. Some current players may have noticed why I do not mention defense missions at all during my review. Why? Because the UI is broken for me. It does not display the end of wave rewards nor the extraction opportunity after 5 waves. I have zero clue as to how this occurs, and I can only hope that it's eventually resolved in the future. I will not be playing this mode until it's fixed. Okay, that was a lot. It got a bit heated. Now for my rating. I give it a 8 out of 10. Great gameplay, strong probability of improvement, and an amazing atmosphere. 2 points are subtracted for questionable AI, incomplete sound design, and spawn jank.
Hey bro, you got a phone call.
Who the hell could this be?
Hello? Hello?
Tara? Nice of you to call in. Is there anything you have to say to me in the audience? Alright, I'll give you the stage.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm Temi Terra, and I'm the solo developer of Trench Decay. I just wanted to come out here and say thank you for covering my game. You reached out to me on Discord originally, and the passion and interest that you had in the project was very inspiring. This is the first game that I'm making myself, so to see all the amazing content being made of the game is nothing short of a blessing. I want to thank the community for coming out and playing my game, the many social media creators for covering the game, and of course to anyone watching this video. Thank you, over and out.
Thank you, Tara, for taking time out of your day to speak to us. Before I finish the video off, I would like to announce that I and Studio Rook have partnered to bring you an exclusive mask, based off the one scene in my Looping the Trenches animation. Redeem the code on screen to get it for yourself and LARP as an eldritch being. But it wouldn't be a Reaperlikesgames video if there wasn't a rating from the intended target audience of Roblox. A child. Tell me what you think, little bro.
Game good. I like zombies. Tickle the brain. Can't go pew pew. Pass!
Thank you for your input. If you enjoyed the video, show it by liking, subscribing, and maybe even sharing it with a friend. If you didn't like the video, leave a dislike and comment any changes you want to see. See you guys soon.
I'm outside now. The dogs. After editing that video, that took like so long, but getting some sunlight's always nice. Thank you for watching.